Just takes a minute for the live stream to turn back on. Going to post a link in a second. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Can't get any perfect than that. All right. This is going to be a great session. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Edward. How are you? Hopefully you guys could hear me okay. Let me go ahead and switch over my screen because sharing is caring. There we go. Perfect. We are all set up for the day. We got Carrie, we got Ed, we got Wakas, we got Rick, we got Timothy, we got Dave, we got Robert, we got Penny. Good morning, Penny. We got Dave, CJ, Ricky, Ivano, Nina, Ed, Omar. Good morning, Omar. Hope you're well. Carrie, Dennis. Good morning, everybody. You know, my room, I'm upstairs in my office. Hey, Marshall, how are you? Brian, good morning. Good to see you. And folks, again, you all need to thank Brian for all the help he's been giving. He's the one that created all those codes for the A-line. Him and Matt, they did it up really, really well. Thank you again, Brian. I really appreciate all the help. You really don't need to do that, but I really do appreciate it. Heru, Eagle Beagle's in the house. Adam, Henry, Tom, Robert, Joanne. Good morning, everybody. Jody's in the house. We got all the usual suspects. Wade is in the house. Good morning, everybody. We'll be starting in just a minute. If you guys hear a little buzzing in my room, I don't know if you will. You probably won't, but I have a fan on. It's been getting so hot in here. Hey, Jill. Good morning. Deanna. Good morning. It's been so hot that even at 7 a.m. with full air conditioning, the room gets hot after an hour and I can't breathe. So I've been kind of hurrying things up along a little bit, like 5 minutes, because I've been just getting really uncomfortable. So I got myself an air machine, and now it's nice and cool in here. Hopefully it'll stay that way for the full hour. I mean, we've been having a really hot summer in Florida, a really, really hot summer. Kirk, good morning. Peter, good morning. Alia, good morning. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Alia 206, Daniel, Steve, Leon, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, let's start. You guys should be able to see my screen just fine. As you guys can see here, pre-opening futures are nice and solid. The Dow's up 26 points. The Nasdaq's up 43 points. There's really nothing crazy going on right now, okay? Right now. Now, a few things. I posted for you guys. I posted this morning in the Telegram channel. I should have done it yesterday, but I did not have a chance. So I posted this for you in the Telegram channel. This is the implied volatility expected from the biggest earnings. These are already past us, but these are going to be the biggest earnings plays this week. And I wanted to give you guys the implied volatility so you guys could see what to expect in case we want to do a time spread on them. Just to give you a note, today we've got Morgan Stanley, one of my favorite stocks of all time. I love this company. We got Bank of America. I like that company. Pretty much like everything that's coming out today. I'm not that familiar with UNH, but we do have some financials coming out today. Cold in UK. Ouch. Oof. Yeah, it's been a really hot summer. Good morning, Terrence from Tucson. Man, it must be hot over there. Good morning, Rochelle. So anyway, hopefully this wind machine will keep me nice and cool because I don't want to keep the door open. It doesn't sound right. It's a soundproof door and it creates echo and I don't like it. So on Wednesday, you got AMSL, you got Johnson & Johnson. This will be an interesting one. You got Las Vegas Sands, UAL. On Thursday, you got Taiwan Semiconductor. You got Netflix. Netflix is expecting 8.8%. Volatility, which is quite a bit, actually. Think about it, $650 stock, right? Imagine it moving 65, 70 points. Good. I'm glad it's not an air conditioner. It's just an air machine. It's just a fan. It's about 6 feet away from here, but I'm glad you guys can't hear it. That's what I was concerned about. Thank you for letting me know, Wakas. And on Friday, American Express. So I would say this is a very heavy financial week with some stocks sprinkled in like DHI, DPZ. This is also one we'll be watching out for. And if I see that there's a time spread that makes sense, I'll post it for you in the pit channel or maybe in the public channel. But these are the biggest earnings this week, and that's the expected movement from each of these stocks. So in case you guys don't know what I am posting for you, yesterday I posted all the earnings that are coming out and when they're coming out. Okay. All right. As I mentioned, the market is a little bit up today. Nothing crazy. There's no major divergence. We've been finally seeing blue chip, small caps, and the Dow stocks all in concert, which is very, very positive. Good morning, Ray. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As far as Fed data today, you've got retail sales. Retail sales is coming out in 25 minutes. This is not a first tier report like the CPI or the PPI. This is more of a second tier report. But folks, retail sales makes up retail sales and consumer sentiment. Those two reports make up about 70% of the economy. So it would be foolish for us to ignore this report. I'm hoping that the retail sales numbers are good. This will give retailers a little bit more upside momentum, which they could be using right now. We don't have a lot of Fed speakers today. We got Kugler speaking. I don't think that's going to be major. I think the market is going to be able to stand on its forward today, minus the earnings, obviously, that we're going to see. I'm still pretty bullish on financials, and I'm still pretty bullish on healthcare. We'll go through sectors in just a minute. Tomorrow, we've got housing starts and we have industrial production. Industrial production is getting close to a tier one report. This is a pretty big report, and this is going to be the biggest report of the week. It's happening at 9:15 tomorrow before the market opens. And also as we head into a bunch of earnings. So expect more volatility, and also volume seems to be picking up, which is really good for options. Housing starts, I don't expect this number to be good. I'm expecting this number to be weaker because the sentiment towards interest rate has not reverberated throughout the market just yet, in my opinion. So I'm expecting this number to be worse than expected, but I am curious to see how the stocks are going to react towards this. And also, we'll talk about sectors in a second, so we'll see whether these sectors are still leading or not. Then we got jobless claims. As I mentioned, if the VIX is not broken, this is broken. It's been every time it goes to the mid 200s or high 200,000s, it just falls right back down. The expectation, look at the expectation consensus 204 to 250. Anything, unless it's like 300 or 280. This is not even going to be something I talk about. It's just not. Jobs have been fairly consistent as far as the Fed data. That's one thing the Fed cannot lead on. God knows they try. They try so hard, but they haven't been able to lean on it. And then on Thursday, we've got a bunch of Fed speakers, but they're going to be talking mostly after the market closes. So it's not really going to impact the market like it will on Friday when they're speaking intraday. John Williams, that's a big one. Bostic, that's a big one. So Friday, we may have some fireworks. But overall, this is a pretty good week, and I'm seeing volume starting to pick up. I'm seeing momentum levels strengthen. So that's telling me that instead of, as I mentioned, I don't want to sound like a record player, but I was concerned that the FANG stocks were the only ones driving the market higher. And I was concerned that once the FANG stocks give up the ghost, the market is going to, hold on one second, let me just show you this. So this is the equal weighted SPY. This is what we've seen in the last 3 days, okay? Really, they're really, this is good for the broad market. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Duzzy. But look at where we were, right? We were right here. We were building a descending triangle, and my concern was if the FANG stocks give out, the NASDAQ is going to start looking like this too. And that has not happened. Matter of fact, if you look at the equal weighted NASDAQ, the NASDAQ has all the NASDAQ stocks have come to it. So the rally we're seeing right now, fortunately, on good volume, is not just the NASDAQ. It's not just the top 5 or 7 stocks, but it's really the entire NASDAQ 100 and the entire S&P 500, including the smaller stocks. And this is why I'm so focused on this, because this makes all the difference in the world, okay? And matter of fact, just to show you this, remember this graph we look at? Remember we were at 40%, we were tithering at 52%, 51%. Well, look at it now. 65%, 63%. So you could see that from last week to today, the numbers are getting stronger. We went from 40% to 65%. That's good. That's really, really good. Because, folks, there's only so much tricks can be done on FANG stocks, and there are only so many funds that buy just FANG stocks. George, good morning. Debbie, good morning. Julie, good morning. If I didn't say good morning to you, I apologize. I'm just trying to get through this. But momentum levels are stabilizing, and that's really, really good for the overall market. Let's talk about commodities, and then I'll talk about the broad market as a whole, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty. All right? How about that? So gold still continues to rise. I like what I'm seeing in the gold market. I am not going to make any recommendations on gold stocks till we breach above the 2,460 level and then start cooling off. War Dog, good morning. Good morning. I hope it's a little cooler in Central California than it is here. It's just been really hot. I went outside for 2 minutes just to get some air yesterday during work. I couldn't stay outside. It was just too damn hot. All right. So I like what I'm seeing with the gold market, although I'm a little perplexed by why gold market is rallying right now. I don't understand why the gold market is rallying, and I really don't care. But honestly, if we're entering a deflationary period, this would smell a inflationary top. And if that's an inflationary top, then one of the reasons why. Let me show you something. This is CME Group right here. This is a commodity exchange. Usually commodities are bought up when they're in a bull market. If you look at this chart of CME Group, it's been going down. So I'm thinking, why in the world are commodity exchanges usually rally when commodity prices rally? Commodity prices are not rallying. Commodity prices are rallying. Commodity prices are going up, but CME is breaking down, right? I mean, this is definitely a breakdown. It went from 220 to 190. And gold is going up. Meanwhile, crude oil is breaking down, literally. And by the way, hey, Rebecca, good morning. And right here, 95 in Boston today, closing to 100. I'm going to be there in about 3.5 weeks. I'm going to Lake Winnipesaukee, and we go through Boston. I'll be going to Boston in about 3.5 weeks for about 2 hours. I'll be there. So crude oil is breaking down. I'm glad I did not tell you to buy energy stocks when we were up here. A lot of folks were asking me, and I said, no. We want to get above this. But if we're going to be entering a deflationary period, I don't see why gold is rallying. So I have a big question mark on gold right now, a big question mark, because all the other commodities appear to be topping out. So we could still be topping out, and we won't know if we're taking this out till we take out the high. But usually commodity super cycles last a while, but this one has been lasting a while, as you guys could see right here. I mean, this has been lasting for 5 years now. So I don't know if we're going to see more upside on the gold market. Lewis, good morning. Heather, good morning. Good to see everybody. So be careful. Be careful. I see a little turd. I don't see a rainbow ahead. I see a turd ahead. So be careful here, okay? Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Especially in light of the energy prices cooling off. After all, they are commodities, okay? All right, let's put everything together, and then I'll talk about the stock market. Where is my sheet here? Where is my sheet? Where is my sheet? There it is. There's my sheet. All right, we're looking ahead for retail sales data today. Wow, 103 in DC? My God, that's insane, Daniel. 95 in Boston. Man, I guess we're not the only ones here. Retail sales, that's going to be pretty important. Keep your eye on XLY. We'll talk about sectors in just a minute. Apple got a little bit of a lift from Morgan Stanley. I like that. That's really, really good. Whenever Apple gets upgraded, it's really good for the broad market. Goldman Sachs got good earnings. We talked about Goldman Sachs, and I told you how much I like Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. When I heard news that Macy's may be a buyout stock, I don't know if you guys remember me commenting on this here, but my comment when I read this was why. Do you remember that? Do you guys remember my comment? Remember when I read this about 4 days ago, my comment was why? Why would they want to take over Macy's? And they're not going to take over Macy's. They decided they don't want to do it. 105 in Colorado, man, that's where Jack Carter goes to cool off in the summer. that's terrible. Ugh. I wonder what what Vegas weather is right now. That's awful, awful, awful. But anyway, I find this humorous because when I read that they were in talks to take over Macy's, my only comment was, I made a very, very quick comment. My comment was, why? Why would they want to do that? Do you guys remember that? That was the only comment I made when I read this a few days ago. I know I was very fast about it, but the only thing I said was, why? Why would they want to do that? Wow. Whew. After seeing what you guys are telling me about climate change, it makes me not feel that bad about the weather being here that bad. But I thought Colorado was really cool. Ugh. Wow. That's tough, Penny. That's tough. And look at you now. Now you build helicopters. See, you didn't have an air conditioning, and now you build helicopters. So anyway, so I thought this was kind of funny. So they ended their buyout discussion. Again, my comment when I read this a few days ago, but why? Why would anybody want to take over Macy's right now? Claimed 3 bidders for Macy. All I know is when I read this, it was funny because I usually don't remember my comments, but my comments was, but why? That's what I said here live, but why? And then we just moved on. We got Empire State Manufacturing Index fell. Manufacturing has not been doing well. Mountains in Colorado, 85. I'm hoping Winnipesaukee is nice and cool for me. That's where I'll be in 3 weeks. I'll be working from there every day. There's not much to do there, so I'll be working from there every day. I'm only going to be gone the day I travel and the day I travel back. Otherwise, I'll be working every day, like I worked 3 years ago from Lake Winnipesaukee. My wife's cousin lives in Boston, and she works in Harvard, and she does research in Harvard, and we get along really well, so we're all going to hang out there together. Kenneth says 95 here in San Antonio. Oh, man. But it does get hot in San Antonio. It does get 110 in Kansas yesterday. Folks, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Okay, let's talk about Mr. Powell. He said in an interview on Monday that second quarter economic data has given policymakers greater confidence that inflation is trending towards 2% target. I agree with him, potentially setting the stage for near-term interest rate cuts. Powell also remarked that labor market has shifted into better balance. Okay, fair enough. And that monetary lags imply Fed can take action before achieving the 2% inflation target. Politics, politics, politics. At the same time, he made it clear that he would not send any signals regarding timing of a rate cut. Yeah, that's because he's not sure when his job is going to be in jeopardy, so he wants to hedge himself. Whew. Jeez, Wayne, you guys are hot. Wow. Yeah, we've had also, same here, guys, in Ponte Vedra here where I am, it usually gets hot in August. It got hot like in June this year, and it's just like what Adam just said. It got hot a lot earlier this summer. So Mary Daly remarked that inflation has decreased in a matter that boosts confidence. It's moving towards 2%. Inflation is coming down, and it's doing it in a way that confidence is growing, that we're getting near a sustainable pace. Now, I have a question for you guys. Do you guys remember the PPE report, the Producers Price Index? Was Producers Price Index getting better? No, it was worse than it was a year ago. So are they a little bit full of shit? Yes, they are. But things are getting better. CPI was substantially better. All right. So meanwhile, there's an 8% chance that the Fed is going to lower rates in July, which I think is silly. and a 99% chance that they're going to cut rates in September. I'm still thinking November. I'm not thinking September because of the way the bond market's reacting. We talked about earnings. I send you a sheet. These are all the stocks that are coming out today. Please, please, please be very, very, very careful. And also, if he starts cutting rates right now, I can almost guarantee you that inflation will get back up. It's very sticky. And if the PPI is not making any progress, it's not going to be good. So I think he's going to wait till November. Core retail sales comes out as well. That's this report right here. All of that comes out a little bit later today at about 8:30, in about 10 minutes. Europe is down, extending losses from previous. Now, I want to show you guys something. And I don't want you guys. Yeah, last time I went to Winnipesaukee, it rained and it was cold the first 2 days, like cold. And then it got really nice. But the weather there is going to be really nice. Thank you, JT. Appreciate that. Yes, Penny, I agree with what you're saying. The only reason they would lower rates in September is for political reasons. All right. Awaiting European Central Bank's decision. Now, I want to show you something. I want to show you guys something in a second. But don't. And I'm going to show you why you guys do what you do. But hold on a second. China closed slightly higher. Gains in semiconductor software stocks led the overall market higher. China reported slower than expected growth, an extended downturn in the property market, and concerns over employment, prompting several major banks to lower their guidance. They're in a deflation. We're in an inflation. Hey, John T., how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you here. Okay, now I want to show you guys something. And I want to show you why so many of you are on the wrong path. And you guys, now I'm going to read something to you, okay? This is a classic example of somebody who never traded stocks, who's trying to write an article and who's trying to make the article interesting, but who has absolutely no idea what they're talking about, okay? So I want to read this to you right now, okay? I'm going to call out the person who wrote this right now. Now, it's not your fault that you do this. It's the media's fault that you do this. Now, I'm going to read this to you right now, and then we're going to forget about it, okay? Yes, JT's in the house. All right. Now, look at this. This is amazing. When I read this, it just blew my mind away. I want to call bar charts and tell them to fire this person, like on the spot, okay? Nikkei 225 stocks closed higher today, tracking overnight gains in Wall Street. Now, listen to this rhetoric. As expectations for a second Donald Trump presidency increase following assassination attempt. Really? How do they know that? In Japan, like how? Why are they even writing that? They go further. Defense and financial stocks led the gains on Tuesday. Export-oriented stocks also advanced. Japan weakened against the dollar on bets that the currency would remain weak during Trump's second term. So according to this, Trump already won, and the currency is already going to be weak because of Trump's second quarter, because they already know what Trump is going to do with Japan. See, when you read stuff like this, now here's the point I'm making. I don't care whether you guys like Donald Trump or whether you hate Donald Trump. That's not what the point I'm making here. The point is this is just irresponsible. This is just irresponsible bullshit. This is why I get emails, stupid emails. So, Roger, where do you think the market's going to go now that Donald Trump won? Roger, what do you think is going to happen to this stock now that Biden is won? Don't do that. The market's not pricing this in. The market has no clue. The market's reacting right now on financial earnings, not on Donald Trump's assassination attempt. All right? They know absolutely nothing. Now, am I saying that this could potentially happen? Sure, it could. And so I can give you 30 scenarios where this doesn't happen and it's still valid. So when you read stuff like this, you just got to shake your head and say, oh my God. They're not speculating. They're speculating on speculation, built on speculation, on another layer of speculation. It's like a house of cards that's built on complete nonsense. And again, I'm not saying anything negative about Donald Trump. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. All right. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. This has to do with what they're writing. They're creating a story based on another story, but none of this has happened and none of it is true. Yeah, this is so. And again, please stop. Don't get political on me. This is not political. This has nothing to do with politics. All right. Has to do with stupid writing. Like, how the hell do you know that? They're already speculating what the Japanese yen's currency is going to do. Do you think they're? Let me ask you guys, how much input has Japan had from U.S. on their interest rates in the last 40 years? Zero. They don't. The truth is, they don't listen to anything we do or say. They do their own thing. No one knows what they're going to do or say or how they're going to react. It's like, you know what this is like? This is like me saying, hey guys, next quarter earnings on the FANG stocks are expected to be up 25%. That means we should be buying NVIDIA because NVIDIA is definitely going to go up 30% next year. If I said that, you guys should lock me in the mental institution. Okay, so please, when you read stuff like this, just go like this, like, oh my God. Like, how could somebody say something like that? Why not just predict who's going to be the president in 8 years from now? Why don't we just go all the way there? And again, I'm not talking about Donald. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. If the name was Biden there, I'd be saying exactly the same thing. Like, how could they do this? How could they extrapolate 3 hypothetical scenarios in advance? Right? So I get really upset when I read stuff like this. And I didn't even notice, I didn't even highlight it. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to talk about it. And again, please don't turn this into a political discussion. Don't turn this into a me not liking. This has nothing to do with any of that. It's just irresponsible journalism at its best. Okay? And why they stick this in the Japanese Nikkei section, God only knows. This is retarded. Retarded. Okay, let's go on. By the way, customer service live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm going to do a replay today of the A-line pattern. I hope you guys watch it. I know that yesterday everybody had a lot of fun watching it. It was very educational. And also, don't forget VIP room at noon today. And I'll give you guys some stocks during my 10 o'clock session, stocks that I believe will do very, very well over the next few days. Here's my VIP room. All right, let's move on. Sorry, I didn't mean to get into all of that, but that just really pissed me off. That really pissed me off. All right. Shopify got upgraded. Very, very good for consumer. Very, very good for consumer discretionary. Very good for consumer discretionary. Not because Shopify is a big company, because Shopify is used by a ton of consumer discretionary companies for their checkout carts. Okay. All right. Very, very important. Dollar Tree got downgraded. As you guys know, I've been very bearish this stock. We've given several sell recommendations based on this stock. All right, implied volatility a little bit higher, but not really anything to worry about. We're nowhere near the 15 level, so I don't think this is anything to really be concerned about. I mean, you could make a big thing out of this, but I honestly wouldn't. All right, Ralph, don't worry. We'll send you a replay link. Bond market. Well, the bond market yesterday went down. Today, the bond market is already above that level, and the key level is right here, 94.67. If you look at the 10-year, it's already making higher highs, but it needs to get up to this level right here, which is the 111.24 level. Very, 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 very important. Okay, so keep an eye on crude oil, and there could be some potential down trades in the energy market today. It's down almost 2%. Gold I'm going to wait for gold to see how gold does near the 2,460 level. And the bond market is still acting fairly deflationary. All right. So, by the way, which is very good for the stock, which is very good for the overall stock market. And I believe one of the biggest reasons why the Russell and all of those stocks are starting to come up is because the laggards tend to go up at the end when there's actually some potential scenario where we're going to be entering a deflationary scenario. All right, let's talk about the stock market. As you guys can see here, so far we are bullish today. It's 8:30. We're going to have a report coming out. Let's see what the retail sales are. We'll see how this report does in a minute. We'll stay with it. Let's go in key levels on the SPY. Yesterday, we bounced off of this level. I drew this for you yesterday. We are squarely within the area right now. The resistance is 563 on the SPY. The support level is 561. If we break below this area here, the odds are we're going to go to the 559 level, and then we have the 557 level. So to give them to you again, we got the 560 here, the 563.58, 561.15, 559.59, and 557.37. On the QQQ, and we don't do this for the equal weighted assets, we do this for the main assets. Overnight, really nothing. As you guys could see, it pays to pay attention to these levels, guys. Good, CJ. That's fantastic. We'll look at that in just a minute. Let's go through this. Since the market isn't open for another hour, let me just bring that down here, right there. So here we got 503.60, 449.69. Thank you, Penny. And 495. Keep your eye on these levels. I'll also do them for the Dow, and then I'll check the retail sales report. The Dow closed up 200 points yesterday. It's up 57. It's at the high right now, which is really, really good. I'm just going to leave this exactly where it is. I'll bring it down just a hair right here. 40,010 is the next major level. Up here are the levels on the Dow. 40,030, 40,010, 39,850. All right. And I like what I'm seeing on the Dow right now. Let's go back to our numbers. Here we go. Consensus. Yeah, they're better than expected. Let's see what the bond market's doing. Bond market's going up on this news. It's good. It's good. Let's look at the futures, what the futures are doing. Not bad. The Dow's getting stronger. I like that. Very, very good. And notice everything is up today. Look at the Russell 2000. Everything is up today. That's good. Not way up. They weren't way up, but they were okay. They were good. They were positive. They were clearly better than expected. That's really good. Hey, JT. Eagle. Hello. We got everybody here. All right. All right. So you guys have the levels. The reports came out good. Let's look at equal weighted. Are we getting some love from the equal weighted assets? You bet. Look, up 0.27. What about equal weighted? Let's see what the SPY is up right now. The SPY is up 0.12. The equal weighted SPY. Yeah, bad for rate cuts. 0.31. So you're seeing more love from the equal weighted SPY than you are from the QQQ, which is telling you that the broad market is working. And folks, I'm not really worried about the 7 FANG stocks if the broad market is good, because if the broad market's good, you can't help but to have money come into the top FANG stocks, because those FANG stocks are all part of all the big ETFs. You understand? They're part of the big market, but you can have them go up without the rest, but it's very hard for the little stocks to go up without the Microsofts and the FANGs. Okay. So what about the equal weighted SPY? How's that looking right now? Let's take a look. Near all-time highs right there. Beautiful. And what about the QQQ? Nice, nice. Looks like it wants to come up above the A line right here. Nice. I like what I'm seeing, and it's up 0.19 already overnight. All right. And you guys know in the pit, we have a FANG stock that we're long overnight in the pit, and we're not going to mention the name right now because it wouldn't be fair to people that have it. All right. What about momentum? I already told you we're getting stronger. This is telling us that the rest of the market is getting strong, that the money's not just coming into the FANG stocks. Thank God. We really, really needed that. We really, really needed that. As far as sectors are concerned, we're good. We got 67 above the 50-day moving average. We got 73 above the 200. There's nothing really lagging in the S&P 500 right now. The only sectors that are really down is consumer staples and basic materials. The rest are rocking and rolling, and utilities. The Russell 3000's got 71%. The small caps really stepped up, which is very, very good for the market. That means some of the smaller stocks are going to be helping the Dow out, which is now has 70 and 70%. Not seeing any issues there. NASDAQ Composite, 70, 72, 73, 67. All square. Everything is operating on all fours. We are not seeing the divergence that we've been seeing between the FANG stocks and all other stocks. All right. We are not. As far as momentum levels, this is the only thing that's bothering me. We're getting to 370 stocks to the upside and only 17 stocks to the downside. So the upside, there's clearly a sign of shift of institutional buying. Usually when this number gets into the high 400s, we tend to see a pullback. We're not there yet, but the week just started and we have good data today. So let's look at what the SPY is doing. Yeah, I mean, markets are not selling off right now, which is really, really great. But again, keep your eye on the 90-day breakout number, because once this gets into the 450, 460, it tends to be a little bit overdone. And I like the fact that Apple is making a new high today. That's very, very encouraging. In terms of sectors, let's look at sectors so we can make heads or tails of what's going on today. Oh, my fan is really keeping me nice and cool today, thank God. All right, let's look at our sectors. What is driving this market? Bitcoin, home builders, Russell 2000, interest rates, not Bitcoin, but home builders, Russell 2000, real estate, mid-cap, financials, retail, interest rates. Interest rates are still driving this market. How's the bond market today doing? Well, the bond market is still up 0.93. And what about the 10-year? Hold on, let me look at the 10-year. Yeah. Up about a quarter of a basis point, still coming up here on a 1 day, coming up. So we're not in a bad position right now. All right. So Bitcoin is leading over the last few days, but interest rates, everything interest rates. What about technology? Communication, semiconductor, technology, consumer discretionary, taking a back seat to interest rates. Now, do I think that these are just going to go up indefinitely at the expense of these? No. I think we may have another couple of days here, and then these are going to start taking over once again. Okay? So I don't think this is permanent. I think this is just till the Fed splashes some water and says, hey, guys, we're not there yet. Okay? We're not there yet. And if Jerome Powell keeps to his word about how sticky inflation is and how inflation it will come back if we lower it right now, then I think he's going to wait till November. I think the only reason they would do it now would be for hardcore political reasons. And I don't see them doing that. I think he's going to wait. I think because here's the problem. If inflation starts coming back before the election, Powell and whoever the nominee is are going to have egg all over their face. So I think Powell would rather pay the price now than pay the price later. Okay. Because if we start having to if we start having to increase rates in November, that's going to be very, very bad for the election, regardless of who's going to be taking charge. But again, we still have smaller cap stocks leading. Doesn't mean you should throw your favorite chip stock out with the bathwater. It just means that smaller market cap is coming into interest rate sensitive stocks right now, and we're still seeing sector rotation. I don't think when they're done with this, the money's going to come out of the market. I think it's just going to come right back into the tech, semiconductor, QQQ, and communication. Interestingly, even though we're out of whack, notice how all of these are next to each other. Consumer discretionary, technology, semiconductors, QQQ, communication services. But for consumer staples, we would have a perfect flush here. They're not all in various places, which means the market is not fragmented. How do you know if the market is fragmented or if there's a rotation taking place? If you see QQQ here, semiconductors here, communication here, real estate here, industrial here, that's a fragmented market. In this case, you're seeing a very clear pattern of interest rates of interest rate sensitive stocks starting to lead. Home builders, Russell 2000, real estate, mid caps, financials, retail. If that doesn't say it all, I don't know what is. And remember, Bitcoin's kind of on its own. So you can't really pay too much attention to that. Okay. Again, just as a little note, I have a class today at 10 a.m. I don't want you guys to miss it. And then I have my VIP room as usual at noon today. All right. And yes, bonds are up. S&P is up. Everything here is looking pretty good. Look, the Dow's up 100 points. The key is that they're all moving in the same direction. Remember, it's very hard to trade, for me to pick trades when the Dow's down 100 points and the Nasdaq's up 100 points, because they're offsetting each other. When everything's moving in the right direction, it makes it much easier to analyze market action. Okay? List AIM as wrong as is the right symbol. Daniel, just send me an email and I'll change it. I'll take a look at it. All right. Okay. Now let's talk about top stocks. You guys deserve them. Let me give them to you. I got a good list for today too. All right. Let's go to our list. The Dow's moving higher. I like this. I'll give you the short side first and then the long side after. Ooh, breaking down. Mondelez is breaking down. And by the way, consumer staples are down here. Kind of makes sense with the short side. CMG, Chipotle. Below the VWAP, below the moving average line, below the 8-day, but not above, but still have target all the way up here. Breaking the 200-day. There's not a lot of stocks breaking down right now. So if a stock is breaking down, you definitely want to pay attention to it. First time we've ever had the stock on this list, right, guys? We've never had Lulu on our list before, right? We didn't talk about it right here, right here, right there, right there, right here, right here, and right here, right? How many times have we had the stock on our list? How about this one? How about this one? Isn't it amazing? They just keep going down. Chipotle. Yeah, never eagle, right? Never. Now, this is a new one right here. And I mean that. I'm not joking around. Be careful. You got the VWAP. You want to go right below the VWAP. Yeah, never. We never talked about it. Never. Helen of Troy. Nike. First time, right? We're talking about Nike here. That's it. That's my short list. Now let's do the long list. JP Morgan. Roblox. I would wait for this to trade above the 200-day guild. Not ready just yet. Almost, but not yet. I would hold off on that one. T-Mobile, American Express. Remember, a lot of these have earnings on the way, so be careful. Be careful. Like American Express, Stepstone. If you can't make money to the short side, you try to make money to the long side, right? Zillow, IBM. Remember, if all those smaller stocks are in mutual funds and in ETFs that have the big stocks too, so they don't go up by themselves. Zscaler, nice little potential breakout here. Reminds me a lot of the gap to green, except there's no gaps here, but kind of has that look to it. Seagate and APO. It's a good day when I can recommend Apollo Asset Management. It's a good day. All right. That is all I have for you guys for today. I was able to do it in 47 minutes. Remember, I have a class that's going to be on at 10 a.m. I'm going to give you guys some cool stocks. We'll look at some scanners. There's some links. I also have my VIP room. If there's any question that I did not answer, feel free to send me an email. Now, somebody mentioned to me yesterday that they tried sending me an email and I never responded. Vicky, if you're here, I responded to your email and I send you an email and I never got an email from you. I checked my email. So Vicky, try support@marketgeeks.com if you can't get a hold of me, if you're here right now, or roger@rogerscott.com. Both of these go to the same email. What's the class on, Duzzy? The A-line. I'm going to be talking about the A-line again at 10 a.m. You don't want to miss out. It's going to be very, very cool. I'll see everybody there. And if there's anything that I missed, please let me know. Now, I have one question for you guys. One question. Is this session helping you gain an edge in the markets and teaching you how the markets really work? I'm really curious about that. Let me know. Let me know if these sessions are helpful to you and if they really give you are giving you some type of an edge in the market. All right. I hope so. All right. I will talk to you guys later. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. You're welcome, guys. Good. Good. Excellent. And you guys didn't hear my machine. I have a wind machine here. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see you at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Don't miss out. I'm going to be giving free trades. You don't want to miss my free trades. and talking about the cool stocks that are stuck to the A line right now. Cool, Daniel. Nice. Randy says, this is how I start my day. This is why I'm here daily. Good. Excellent. No fan noise. Go figure, right? It's pretty loud on my side. Bye, guys. Have a great afternoon and stay out of trouble and stay cool, okay? Bye, everyone. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Ivano. Thank you for all the support here. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right. Bye, guys.